Hello again, welcome back to the Unloved JDM channel. So we are taking over straight from where the other video of pulling the engine out of the 350 left off. So the engine's there, it's on the stand. Problem is now to try and figure out what's going on with it. As I said last time, I already know a little bit, but I'm going to let you kind of investigate this one with us. I think it's going to be colourful. Let's get to it. Alright, so this is going to be the moment of truth. Can do with a torch, really. Drop the sump plug out. There's either not a lot of oil in there, or it's about to get messy and lumpy.
I don't think there's much oil in there, to be fair. There's that ring that I was telling you about.
Oil control ring. Some of this is piston. Alright, so you probably, well, hopefully just saw in all the footage. The news is quite frankly terrible. Now, this is the cradle that goes around the sump, which, if that's like it is, you know, that's obviously it's got a hole there, and a hole on this side as well. That's one thing, that's quite easily replaceable. This is the little baffle plate that sits above it. That's obviously all broken up there. Basically the cradle that holds the crankshaft, there's a big piece missing, literally missing from there. There's another one there. You won't see it on camera, but the crankshaft itself, aside from being covered in all these little pieces, is actually way out of shape. Like, I mean way out of shape. It was all grenaded from the back side of the engine. Looks like badly serviced and oil starvation because it's literally the back side of it. So that one is relatively intact, but the area around it, there's a hole. If I can get my finger in it, literally in the block just there. So that's no good. That one is completely decimated, and I don't actually have the actual piston from it. I think it's in a million pieces because this is the rod from that cylinder. And if you get it at a certain angle, you can tell it's not straight, and that's not very usable either. So, as I say, I don't actually have the piston out of it, but what I do have is a collection, or a pile, of this stuff. So that's obviously pieces of piston. Another piece, I suspect. Let's say that goes like that. That's obviously a piece of that cradle. I suspect cradle. Bit more cradle, bit more cradle. Anyway, you get the idea. So there's a lot of pieces literally everywhere. The downside of this is it's not just a matter of replacing the block anymore and the crank. It's actually completely ruined the head on this cylinder. That used to be a spark plug right there. Head off that valve completely missing, and the guide isn't even anywhere near the center anymore, so this is a completely scrap head now. The top side of it's not too bad, but again, it's completely useless. So we've actually got pieces literally ruined. If I show you the cylinder, Tom, come here a sec. Just roll this engine over, 180. Yep. Tell me more. Yep. Got it. So if I show you the cylinder on this back side, which is cylinder 6, all what you can see on the side of it is not dust. The actual wall's damaged, and from this angle you can even see the top of the crank and the marks in it. So complete crank is completely unusable, because even if you were to be able to re-bearing, redo the bearings, it's completely out of balance, so it'd never be usable again. So now we're at a bit of a loss with it, because I don't know if I can show you any of the head. The head was, both heads, there we go, were full of this, which is quite frankly bad servicing. So that's used to be oil once upon a time, and because it's been serviced so terribly, it's ultimately what's liable to have killed it due to oil starvation and oil pressure issues. So unfortunately the fault was bad servicing. But as for us going forwards, I don't know where we go from here. I'm reluctant to buy another second-hand engine for the simple reason that if I was to get another one and put it in, who knows how far off the second-hand engine is from doing the same things. Who knows how well it's really been looked after. You got to look at timing chains and things like that. By the time you're finished, there's a lot of work and a lot of money to go into it. So my plan is, at this point, I'm going to start looking for a new crank, brand new crank, a block, maybe a second-hand one, potentially just one cylinder head because the other one's actually fine, and try to sort of rebuild the jigsaw from new pieces. So then we'll go new head gaskets, obviously, new timing chain, new oil and water pumps, and essentially at that point the car will be sort of brand new-ish in the sense of the engine bay. So in theory, we shouldn't have any more issues in relation to that. Now, at the moment, as I've said before, it is currently an automatic, as you can see there, the dual mass. But ideally, at some point, it needs to become manual. But my idea was to get it running first and then go from there. So I'm going to leave this video here. I'm going to go to the drawing board. I'm going to start looking for parts and figure out where we go from here. If you are watching this and you have, in any sort of good time frame, an engine for sale that is potentially good, or an engine that I can rebuild that's not as bad as mine, or, you know, parts to help me get a little bit along the way, drop me a message. My Instagram and Facebook will be there on the screen, and any help or advice you can give would be great. In the meantime, wish us luck. Thanks for watching.